feeling tired and bloated without an understanding as to why? Maybe you're a student with a busy schedule or have a high demanding job that keeps you on the go. Do you often find yourself making a quick meal on the fly or snacking to curb your appetite? You might be experiencing a spleen qi deficiency. Hi, welcome to Food for Thought. I'll be your host, Allie Warders, and I'd like to talk to you guys at home about spleen qi deficiency. I imagine you have a stream of questions running through your head. What the heck is spleen qi deficiency? What does your spleen even do? Why does this concern me? And maybe even how can I help it? We'll get to all of that, but first let's talk about the spleen. In Western medical settings, the spleen has the role of cleansing the blood and protecting the body from infection. However, other than that, there really isn't very much emphasis or attention that goes to the spleen unless it's malfunctioning and then gets removed. In traditional Chinese medicine, the spleen has a really important role. It also includes the pancreas of modern medicine, so we can encompass those two together. The spleen helps transport digested food to nourish the whole body and promote the redistribution of fluids. When the spleen isn't able to process nutrients, fluid builds up and can cause bloating and distension in the abdomen. The spleen also has a huge role in blood circulation and sending nutrients to the heart and lungs, where they're made into blood and qi, which is energy. We'll get to that. Therefore, if the spleen isn't getting the care and nutrients that it needs, our blood and our energy levels also suffer. You may be thinking, okay, Allie, I get that the spleen is important, but what is spleen qi deficiency and why does this concern me? So let's talk about it. Now that we understand some of the things that the spleen does for our systems, let's look at what spleen qi deficiency means. Qi is basically life force energy flowing through your body constantly. It's replenished from the air that you breathe and the food that you eat. Your lifestyle, diet, and emotions all play a huge role in the influence of your qi and also the balance of it. A deficiency, meaning a lack or a shortage of something, and in this case, qi, from the spleen. So a spleen qi deficiency is a lack in spleen energy, causing it to malfunction. What causes spleen qi deficiency then? That's another great question. According to traditional Chinese medicine, the spleen falls within the earth element, which corresponds to a person's intellect. When we use our brains due to studying a lot, reading, overthinking, ruminating if there's something personal going on in our lives, we use up all of this qi that is being nourished and provided by the spleen. The spleen's physical manifestation as the digestive process is expressed in the mental level as the thinking process. Have you ever heard someone say, "This book is hard to digest," or "Let me chew this over"? The spleen is responsible for adapting both food and information. So it's also really important for us to keep the spleen happy, healthy, which it likes to be warm and nourished so that it can do its job in aiding the stomach to digest food. So eating raw, cold foods, such as salads, frozen or chilled foods, drinking cold beverages very often will weaken the spleen's ability to do its job. Let's nourish the spleen with the things that it likes. For instance, warm, cooked, easy to digest foods. Soups and stews are a great way to nourish your spleen qi. Another thing that's very helpful for our spleen is regularity and preparedness, meaning a little bit more consistency with meal times, possibly pre-planning meals, anything that you can do to help alleviate a little bit of the stress of the spleen. The spleen has a lot of work to do to produce enough energy for us to live our very busy lives. So it's important for us to help in minimizing stress. Okay, so let's talk about cooking. I love to make a soup or stew in the slow cooker, which is a great way for me to plan my meals so I have one less thing to worry about. I've made a lemon ginger soup with lots of veggies and bone broth. Remember, the spleen loves warm, dry, natured foods and plenty of cooked vegetables. Being that it's the earth element, we can remember this with the root vegetables specifically. So here we have carrots, turnips, zucchini, onion, little celery for a taste, parsley, and a very important one, ginger. Ginger is very warming, so it's great for the spleen. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. Until next time, folks, this is Allie Waters with Food for Thought, signing off. If not nourished, spleen qi deficiency can lead to chronic tiredness, poor appetite, abdominal distension, and bloating after eating, lassitude, pale complexion, weakness of the limbs, cold limbs, weak muscles, depression, anxiety, desire to lie down, blood spots under the skin, blood in urine or stools, loose stools, insomnia, amenorrhea, nausea, poor memory, palpitations, dizziness, spontaneous sweating, shortness of breath, blood deficiency, spleen yang deficiency, spleen qi sinking, spleen not holding blood, heart qi deficiency, lung qi deficiency, kidney yang deficiency, dampness and phlegm. For more information, please make a soup and call your local doctor of Chinese medicine.